Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a flip through, some prints, some stuff to share with you. I'm really excited. I did something really different with this journal. I just wanted to take the time to talk you through a whole bunch of creative mindset and process things that I did. I don't always have the time to do that if I put my journals in with supplies, and so occasionally I like to pull them out and do a video just on them. This is a Sweet Bohemian Traveler's Notebook journal. I have not made a Traveler's Notebook journal in a long time. I forgot how much I love this size. So we're going to talk about multiple things. This is the cover, and it's funny because my inspiration was one of the Chamel Starshine pages, not because the page inspired me, but because the page did not inspire me. If you have been watching me for the past couple weeks, I've been talking about using up an old 12 by 12 paper pad that I had bought a few years ago that I no longer feel inspired by. It's not my aesthetic anymore. And there was, I wish I would have showed you what it was. It was just like a simple cityscape. And I'm like, I am not going to use this for a journal. I just am not. I just don't feel it at all. It's not the time. I mean, it could be a travel journal, I suppose. I didn't feel it at all. So I cut it down, and then I got some white acrylic paint that was a little bit old. It was getting a little thick and goopy, but I figured that's fine. And I purposefully left directional brush strokes, and I just painted thickly all over the cardstock. I did not put gesso on first. I was not worried about warping. I was not worried about any of that. I wanted texture and wrinkles and all of that to really make a cool effect. So that was the first layer. And then I have sprays on here. I have some of my homemade, I don't think it's Poseidon. I think it's Poseidon mixed with maybe some blue Aurora. I have a homemade line of ink sprays called Paper Potions, and I do limited runs, so you can only get the color then and never again, and I keep some for myself or mix them or whatever. So I sprayed that on, and then I sprayed some green that I had made sitting around, and so I did that, and then I stenciled with some, it was like a mixture of like a silver and brown. You can see stenciling. And then I took, this is a vintage acrylic that my grandma actually gave me. It's like a rose color. And I painted around the edges, and then I purposefully made all of these. I used a sponge brush, like a disposable sponge brush. I made all of these lines on it. I just kept trying to build up layers. There's also some in the background, very light, some stamps with black ink. You can barely see, it's kind of a ornamental design. And then I took a large rubber stamp that had an ivy pattern. If you can see, there's a little hint of ivy here. And I stamped that with embossing powder kind of randomly on the front and back. But some of the splotches were also still wet. So I sprinkled, this is the embossing powder I used, Shabby White Blanc Minable. I have no idea. I think Vicky sent this to me. I have no idea where she got it, what the brand is, but it's pretty much white and gold, and it makes these bubbled up paint effect with gold flecks, and it's really cool. So there's that all over. And then I layered up little pieces of textiles, so little teeny scraps. So there's green and white lace and pink lace. There's a little dyed applique, there's some eyelet lace, there's a little bit of sparkly blue fabric, there's a little piece of white down here, a couple pieces in this corner, and a little bit in the back, and a little bit here in the middle. And then the image, take this closure off, is from Graphics Fairy. I thought that was really bohemian and really romantic and sweet. And then I smooshed embossing powder all around the edge and embossed it, stitched it, and glued it on. And then I clipped on a boho bead. These are from the Magnolia Seed. I don't know if she still has an Etsy shop or not. I've had this for a long time. I've been hoarding it, but I knew it had to go with this journal. You will see various prints throughout here. So I've put together 4 print packs. I only have 4 available using some of the digitals that I have. The dragonflies, you'll see some of these throughout. This is from my Modern Maiden Image Club. So you can join that club to get a whole bunch of printables, but I have it printed here for you. So you get one. These are all in cardstock. These are my geometric circles, and I printed them smaller, but you can get these printed or digitally on my website, but I have a print here for you. This is from Vintage Image Club, and I've used 1 or 2 of these as well, so I gave you a sheet of those. Make sure you join Vintage Image Club. It is incredible because all of these Bohemian ladies are also on Vintage Image Club, and I used several of them throughout the journal, but I have them printed here for you. So it is 4, 5, 6, 7 pages printed on cardstock. There's 4 available, and you can get these in Lindsay's Supplies. You cannot, the only thing you could order as a print by itself is this page, and they're much bigger. So thought that would be fun. Let us flip through this journal. I will put the pages in the description box. I think it is 72 pages, 1 signature. To thicken it up and to use up scraps, I used some vintage children's book pages here, and then some scrapbook paper here. I have a little collage. Here's how I used some of the mini labels. I did a scallop punch, a little bit of fabric, and then just a vintage image there. Keep this book clean. Do not turn down the leaves. That was ripped from, I think it might be Seneca Pond Crafts. The paper pad that I used in here was Antique Textiles 1 and 2 and William Morris wallpaper. You can get all of those printed or digitally in my website. So we have Antique Textiles, William Morris. I've made a little fabric flip. Getting to use my fabric pinking shears. I am so excited. First time I've really used those for a journal. I have some jelly printed pages, and then using these Bohemian ladies and some graphics fairy with scrapbook paper, vintage printed music. This was actually part of this. It was ripped from lower, but just adding my little touch of nature, because I always have to have nature. I did a little smushing ink through a stencil just to add some of that purple. I think purple is a very Bohemian color, and I wanted to do that. We have more ancient textiles and William Morris wallpaper. Just a little bit of a light spray on the background. This is my, this is my Aurora Blue ink spray. I think I'm sold out on those. I need to mix a new batch of something new up. More ancient textiles, William Morris, the Bohemian ladies. This is green dyed paper. This is my light forest moss. And there are some of these available in Lindsay's Handmade. It is a greenish brown, like a light woodland forest color. I love it. Added that in there. Textiles again. Here's one of the dragonflies being used as a little tuck spot. This is a Prima cut apart. It says Love Story, and I had to choose that because of the sweet couple on the front. I don't remember if this is TLC, Creates Vintage, or Victoria Designs, but nice little label there. I've used some 20-pound tan copy paper. I did a little collaged tuck spot pocket here. And this was a piece of scrapbook paper. I think that's the same. Yeah, it's a cutoff from this. And I had my paintbrush. I cleaned my paintbrush on it, so there's paint strokes. And I thought that was neat with a little bit of wallpaper. And then this is a flip open tag. Vintage Rose book page. More ancient textiles, another Bohemian lady. This was from Happy Mail. I thought it went really well with the theme. Just a little die cut. I made a pocket out of some leftover paper that I had inked all up and added glitter and all of that. Another Bohemian lady. This is also hand-dyed paper. This is that stamp I used on the front that you can only lightly see with the rhinestone. More textiles. More ink smushing through a stencil. This, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's some kind of a packaging paper, almost like a butcher paper. It's not really waxy, almost like a packing paper, but I got it at just a discount, like bargain bin place in town. It had been returned, like an Amazon return, It's just a really lightweight paper, so I thought that was fun to put in there. Made a little cluster on my textile paper, William Morris wallpaper, vintage ladies. I tried to use different colorful paper clips throughout. I think this is my porch prints. And then I've made a little bohemian looking pocket from some scrapbook paper. And then I don't remember, that's probably Modern Maiden, or it's February Image Club. I don't even remember. I had it in my stash. There's another dragonfly. Jelly printed plate, and you can see that ivy stamp. So that was perfect because of the ivy on the front. And a little bit of washi. This is from In Love Arts. Little tuck spot with an ink smushed tag. Lonnie actually made me this little tag, and then I just did the ink smushing on it. I love this spread because I have a cluster of fabric papers. And then this little pocket I got in Happy Mail, and I added just a little teeniest strip of a snippet roll. When you order snippet rolls, you do not have to use giant pieces. This is a tiny little strip. There's a bird and 3 little rosettes. Diana Smith made me this one. And then I just glued it on there. And then inside here is just a little stamped journal card on some ivory cardstock. Textiles, here's a little... I have some of these for sale in my shop under Lindsay's Handmade. Just little die cuts from a vintage floral book. This is more from Diana's snippet roll. I love the colors, and I figured that Bohemian ladies probably had kittens and cats that they kept as pets, so I thought that was sweet. Jelly printed paper. And then I have a little fabric flip here and some little beads. I think these are vintage. I think they're from the 70s. Those are really cute. They were my grandmother's. She gave them to me. These are stickers, but you have to, they're from Amazon, and you can't actually pull them off. You have to cut it out, find the edge, and then pull it. Or you can pull like the whole backing off, but I just clipped it on here so you can use it. They're really pretty as bookmarks too. Another little My Porch Prints ticket. And I've used some stickers from the Antiquarian sticker book. You know, I was thinking about this as I was using it, and I don't know that I would reorder this book because there's a lot of weird stickers in it. But there are some really pretty ones. So I've added some of those on this hand-dyed paper. More vintage Bohemian ladies. Some little notepads and vintage book pages. Their sweet faces. This is washi tape that I've put onto cardstock and then turned it into a little ticket. And then a mushroom stamp that I stamped onto like a textured cardstock and used my brother's Scan and Cut to cut it out beautifully. And I think of mushrooms and herbs and tinctures and things like that when I think Bohemian as well. Little glittered pocket with one of these that I have in those print packs. Again, this light forest moss paper that you can get in my shop. Tammy made this cluster. Her clusters are incredible. And then this is glittered and sprayed and slightly embossed. And I love how that shows through on this side. You can write over that light blue splotches. Another pretty Bohemian girl and a dragonfly. A little pocket and a little tag. A little butterfly with a rhinestone. This is jelly printed. It's really pretty with the blues. Another little cluster. And then in the back I signed my name, but I left this so you could write a message or your name or date. And I am just in love with how this came out. I put a lot of special touches and care into it. So if you would like to purchase this journal, it is under Lindsay's Handmade in my shop. And I hope, let me get this tied right. I hope that you got inspired. I like to spend time to talk through my process occasionally instead of just showing pictures to give you some reasons why I'm doing things. And I really just tried to make this a sweet Bohemian love story. Just something really, really pretty that would make a gorgeous gift for yourself or someone else that you love. and I hope that you will take a second to subscribe to my channel if you have not. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Head over to my Creative Fabrica fans page to become an exclusive fan. Last I checked this morning, I had only 7, so join that exclusive family there, and you are going to receive some amazing freebies over there for sure. And join my Facebook group, Nevermore Creations, Junk Journals and Friends. And if you need to email me for any reason, all the links and my email address are in the description box below.